Hello, my name is Oscar. I recently took a course in cancer and wish to share some of this with whoever is watching this video. Cancer is a growth of abnormal cells in the body which can lead to tissue damage and eventually death. This is not optimal. Cancer cells start not with a single mutation, but with many mutations which build up to the eventual growth of a tumor. A tumor is a mass of cells, especially ones growing abnormally, like cancer. So cancer cells start with a single mutation, which might allow them to mutate faster through damaged DNA repair, which would lead to many other mutations, which would lead to these cells replicating faster, not being attacked by the immune system because of their replicating faster, not dying because of their replicating faster. The way they do this is that first, they sustain proliferative signaling. This means that in the cell and outside the cell, they block chemicals which tell the cell to stop dividing and create chemicals which tell the cells to start dividing. They also will evade growth suppression, which I just mentioned. Bad order. They will also avoid the immune system. This is done in many ways, but can be done by removing surface proteins which the immune system attacks, and disabling immune cells that come near. Both of these disable the immune system. Both of these stop the immune system from attacking these cells. Normal cells, once they divide enough, too much, will stop dividing because part of the genetic code called a telomere is too short. Telomeres are at the end of each chromosome, and they are non-coding repetitive chains of DNA. These sometimes fall off during cell replication and would normally cause a cell, if too short, would cause a cell to stop dividing and become a senescent cell. This means that the cell stops dividing entirely, does not replicate DNA, but is still a living cell. Cancer cells do this through an enzyme called telomerase, which lengthens the telomeres. Cancer cells also produce chemicals called cytokines, which promote inflammation in the surrounding tissue, bringing more blood, which brings it nutrients and oxygen, which it needs, and making it easier for it to invade. Invasion is an important part of a cancer cell's division, because if cancer only grew in one single tumor, it would be easy to cure through surgery. However, if multiple tumors form, some of them too small to detect, it makes it very difficult to cure. Cancer cells do this through invasion and metastasis. Invasion is when cancer cells spread slowly through tissues. Sometimes cells might move a little, but this is not normal, as most cells are what are called epithelial cells. This means that they are block-shaped and do not move normally. They have very specific structures and they're very fixed. However, cancer cells undergo something called the epithelial to mesenchymal transition. This means that they become more elongated, they lose their rigid structure, and they move more easily. Invasion is also helped by several other factors, which I will mention later. Metastasis is when a cancer cell gets into the blood or lymph vessels and from there moves to somewhere else in the body. Metastases differ in between different cancer types. Lung cancer might spread to one organ, but stomach cancer might go to another. Colon cancer, another organ. This is likely due to the different environments that the cells might reside in. Angiogenesis is the formation of new blood vessels which cancer uses to bring nutrients and oxygen. These are poorly made and therefore leaky and messy, and both of these help cancer help cancer metastasize. Genome instability is a common hallmark of cancer, as this allows the cancer cells to mutate far faster, and thereby there's more cancer variants, which leads to it being harder to cure and more robust. Cancer cells resist death from inside the cell. Cells occasionally, if something goes wrong, will die, kill themselves. This is very important to the body's function, as otherwise cancer would be far more common. Cancer cells ignore these signals through various means, and thereby do not die. Cancer cells have a different metabolism to normal cells to power their extremely fast replication, and to power their extremely fast replication. Because of all of these, cancer cells are more suited to life than other cells, but they kill humans because they don't cooperate. I will now tell you about metastasis. Metastasis is when cancer cells spread to other organs in the body. This happens primarily through the blood or lymph vessels. If a cancer cell falls into the lymph vessels, it will most likely die. If a cancer cell falls into the blood or lymph vessels, it will most likely die from lacking a mutation that causes it not to die when detached from the extracellular matrix. Extracellular matrix is just lots of proteins floating around in between cells. If it survives that, it will likely be attacked by immune cells, which have not been deactivated because they are far away from the primary tumor. Then it will likely die from the heart. The heart is very dangerous because compared to the veins, it is as a waterfall compared to a wide river. Fast, violent, and lots of pressure. If it survives the heart, if it doesn't get stuck in the capillaries of the lungs, then it will become a CTC, a circulating tumor cell. It may now stay in the blood until it gets lodged in some other organ, gets out of the blood vessel, and it begins a new tumor. Before doing this, though, it might stay dormant for a while until something happens to it, in which case you have a nearly undetectable cell until it starts making a tumor. A tumor is easily detectable. Circulating tumor cells will survive better in various organs depending on the organs from which they came. This is because of the different environments and different chemicals there. A stomach metastasis would have to be something resistant to acids, because the stomach has a lot of acid. But a bone metastasis has a lot less acid, but might have some other things in it, which the tumor cell might not be ready for. Once this forms a tumor, this tumor is also now a problem because it's like starting another tumor. Because it's like a small piece of the first tumor, but in a different spot, which makes it more difficult to cure. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.